Hey.
Hello. Would you like me to take notes tonight? Or are you gonna?
If you could, that would be great.
Sure.
Hi, Ann.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah.
Good for you.
Good.
Thanks for joining.
Oh yeah, of course.
Bring up the agenda. So let me call the meeting to order, 7:31. We don't have any public participation, so we just need to approve the meeting notes from January.
So moved.
Second.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, approved. Next item is talking about school waste reduction initiatives. So the Walton and Greenwood composting and food rescue programs are going really well. We did have a bit of an overflow of compost at Greenwood today, so I think we may need to get another bin from Black Earth.
Wow.
So I don't know if it was just an unusual week or what's going on, but we have to get another bin. But other than that, it's been going really well. I mean, the kids are now like participating in mostly the food rescue part, like, you know, putting the food in the fridge, you know, helping with that part. And I don't know if maybe they're moving the compost to the kitchen at the Greenwood or not, but yeah, they're more participatory, which is great. We're hoping to start the food rescue program at Dover.
Oh, good.
And the composting, they want to start doing it just in the kitchen to start, and then see how that goes and roll it out to the kids. They're mostly concerned about like staffing of, you know, making sure there's not a huge mess with the compost. So I think, you know, starting in the kitchen is a good start because a lot of the food waste actually is from the kitchen. So
Great.
So yeah, hoping to get that going the next month or so. And as far as like the Black Earth education presentation, yeah, I mean, I don't know if we want to think about Dilbear, maybe like presenting that before like rolling out the program there, or do we want to have them come to the smaller schools? I don't know.
Right, since they'll only do one, if the kids are already doing a good job of it at the other two, I wonder if it like actually does more good at Dolbear, especially if they're concerned about whether the kids are gonna. Good night, sweetheart. Like if that education might help to get that to happen.
Forward, Yeah, so I don't know. I think we should probably like start maybe the program, the composting in the kitchen there first, and then like see how that goes, and then go from there as far as asking about like doing a presentation. I think it'd be a good idea to have them come in April since it's like Earth Month. So
That sounds good.
So let's see what happens at Dolbear in the next like month or so, and then figure it out. And like a bunch of the kids were asking about getting like the compost soil for their gardens at the schools. So
cool. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think of when in the season that tended to happen last year. I thought it was summer.
I feel like it was May. And do you remember, when they offer that?
Yeah, so when they did the garden, the community garden, I believe we got at the end of April.
Okay. That'll be good.
Great. Yeah, then the school will still be in session. They can use it in the garden. That's great. And then did we want to try to do some sort of waste audit with them at either of the Walton or Greenwood? I know we've been concerned about like sort of process and whether we want kids touching trash.
Right. I haven't asked the principals at all about it, but I can like send them an email and see what they think about it. Yeah, the only thing about the waste audit, like, I mean, we're already diverting like the food waste, so it would really just be like seeing like what is like recyclable.
Right. Ideally, we should have done that before starting the program so that we could see like before and after of it. But
yeah, it was just not good timing, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I can broach the subject, and
I mostly just don't want like WEF to come back and say like, what happened?
I don't think they're following it very closely. I wouldn't worry.
Okay. And we can certainly do some more education around Earth Day, like suggest some books.
Yeah.
Write something up about how much has been diverted.
Yeah, I think we could definitely do that. I was also thinking about doing some sort of like video of the programs.
That's a great idea.
Like WCAT, maybe.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be awesome. Like follow, like go to a lunch and see the kids dumping stuff, and that's
promoted. And
would we need like a video? Like all kids would need to sign a video waiver of some sort.
Probably.
They may already have one in the schools for taking pictures on regular days. So because I've done it before in Melrose, and if they were already on the list to have it, then they could participate. And then the kids who couldn't, they stayed to the side, and we recognized that they couldn't be in it.
Got it. Okay.
Well, that's good. Yeah, I guess like we wouldn't necessarily know that, like when we were taking pictures during lunch. I wouldn't know like, who signed off or not.
Yeah, usually the teacher's good about this one, and this one cannot be. The rest can. And the kids are very aware too, usually. They're usually like, nope, I can't be involved.
Okay.
Good. All right. But yeah, I think WCAT would enjoy that. I have to say, Barbara from WCAT she's so excited about the recycling video. Like I've gotten at least one email from her every day for the past 2 weeks about like the process of the video and the video going up and then being distributed to places. Like, so she's into it. So I'm sure if you reached out to her, she would be happy to help with like making something happen.
Well, since you're friends with her, do you want to reach out?
Sure.
And that didn't cost anything, right? Or how did that work?
No.
So they just like do the videos for free, or what is that?
I don't know what the business model is of a thing like WCAT. I think the town like largely sponsors it for all useful things. I don't know. It's a great question. Yeah. I know there's some town budget that goes to it. I'm pretty sure. I thought at a town meeting I saw that as one of the budget items. Am I making that up? Anne's
No,
nodding, so.
No, I believe that's true.
It's good to know.
But yeah, I think a video would be really cool. I'll reach out to Barbara and see if she has any ideas. I'll include you
Okay.
on that. So
Awesome.
Neat.
Yeah, and then as far as like the Galvin recycling, I never heard back from that email I sent. So, and you had emailed me today about like some stuff that you did in Melrose. So I'd be interested in hearing more about that.
Yeah, so it was set up a little different than Melrose and than Wakefield. So in Melrose, the school custodians report to the DPW.
Oh,
So they were employees of the DPW, not of the school district. So
okay.
that made it so easy for us because the custodians reported to me. So I'm like, we're gonna recycle. That's what we're doing. And then it was so easy because so it's a little more difficult because we at the DPW don't have any really with the schools. We do maintenance for like the larger items, you know, but the custodians don't report to us. But I thought we could maybe set up a meeting with Tim, and I'd be happy to share with Tim and you what we did, and maybe we could help Tim get there.
Okay, that'd be great. Yeah, because I mean, and I don't even like Tim doesn't really have like a huge amount of authority over them because they're on like a union contract.
Yeah, well, it's, I don't know. Trash is trash and it has to be handled properly. So, and Republic needs to also follow that. So I don't feel like we're breaking any union rules or adding to anyone's job description. We're saying take care of the trash properly.
Okay.
So in Melrose, what would happen is the middle school and down were the easiest ones to do because those kids just follow directions. So we were like,
I don't know about that.
I mean, they got into the routine and they would set up the barrels. Like there was a student who would come and set the, the paper, the plastic, we always did liquid pour off. So it would take it out. So they would take the 5-gallon bucket, put it in the colander so the stuff wouldn't go in there. And like that was their job for the day or the week or whatever. And then the custodian would empty and put the barrels out at the end. But we sold it as one, it's cleaner, so the bag wasn't dripping. And if we do food composting, it's even better because then all the food's there and there's no smell, there's no whatever once they take care of that. So I feel like it's more just a routine thing than changing what we're asking people to do. It's a couple extra buckets.
Yeah, I mean, there's no like green team at the Galvin, so like there's no like students pushing this, and the administration is not like very into it. There was a lot of contamination issues from the after school program, so I suggested, just bringing the recycle bins in just before and after lunch and take them out. But then like the janitors were kind of like, oh, that's too much work. Or, like, it was just like, I was hitting walls everywhere.
Any science teachers at the middle school that may be interested?
So there's one teacher that like is volunteering as like the kind of the coordinator there. Like I email her to like kind of see what's going on, but she's not around during lunch, so she can't really help with that. So she is very limited help. And then there was one other teacher there that was like gung-ho about the food rescue program, but then that stopped. So now he's like not interested or something. I don't know. It's kind of a tough crowd.
Yeah, it sounds it.
So, I mean, do we need to go find some 7th graders and like get them to start a green team and want to participate? Like, if we're hitting roadblocks at the staff and administration level?
Yeah,
I don't know a whole lot of 7th graders, but
I think, I don't know, there would have to be like more coordination for that. I think like we'd have to find a staff member to lead it and that type of thing. I think that meeting with Tim would be a good start with you, Ann. And
Yeah, of course.
yeah, because like, I've talked to him several times about like this, but he's just got so much going on that it's just it's hard for him to like focus on this, I think. So yeah, I think it's just a matter of like getting the janitors to bring the barrels in, just for lunch. And then also like, yeah, I mean, we went in like several times, like during lunch last year, just like walking around the cafeteria. Like the kids know what's recyclable, but like they're also like kind of have blinders on in middle school. It seems like, so they're just kind of like throwing wherever. Like they're just like, I don't know. It's kind of a weird grade, weird age.
Yeah, so is the cardboard still going okay there?
Yes, yeah. So the paper and the cardboard are being recycled. So the special needs kids bring the paper out from the classrooms to be recycled. So I've seen them do that. So that's being done. And then yeah, the cardboard and like pizza boxes are being recycled.
Good.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's really just the lunch.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Yeah.
Because at one point last year, they had requested for more barrels because they needed additional ones for the cardboard. I haven't heard from them this year, but the end of last year, they were looking for more.
Really? Because there's a
Yeah.
big cardboard dumpster.
Yeah, they were pulling out we had given them, I think, 6 of the blue barrels to put out.
No, there's more than that.
Okay.
Yeah, there's a lot more. There's like 15 or something, or 10, 15. Like there's quite a few now, and we have like recycle signs on them and everything. And so they're just out on the loading dock. So yeah, they have plenty of bins, I think, but they're not using them right now. So, do you want to contact Tim, or you want me to?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have some other stuff to talk to him about, so I will get it, hold him and set something up.
Okay, great, thank you. So I think that's it for schools. Next item is the recycling bylaw for multifamily.
Yeah. So I think, Anne, we wanted to have you here to talk about like, where is enforcement? Where is the teeth? Like, what can you help us with figuring out like the right way to approach this? But from the different examples that you gave and the other, other things we found through the that recycling resource, like the waste bans are in place, right? Like those items ought not to be going in the trash, but these particular, some of these buildings aren't giving a way to do it.
So from what I read, one of the things I think it has to start with, almost like the pre-construction of the project, because one of the things I could find was that a lot of people were like, we don't have room for another dumpster. Like we only made an area for the dumpster for trash, and that's kind of it. So I do think that it might have to be a check mark with the building department that they've left enough room for recycling.
But that only helps with new buildings, right?
Yes, but then also, I read that most of the places, the health department does the enforcement, because if people have a trash issue, then they call health, and health will go on their property. So one of the problems with DPW is we can't get on people's right of way. So we only can go as far as the sidewalk. That's as far as we can go. But I think the health department has the ability to send letters. I'm not sure about fining, but they can do all that. So if DPW, we have a problem with a location and we've tried to talk to the resident, we'll let health know.
Got it. Okay. And I did see that in some of the examples,
Yeah.
the health inspector or health department, like someone in that, in the health space was the sort of enforcing agent.
Yes, I do want a badge if I could, but I don't think I'll be able to get one, but I would love it.
Love to give you a badge.
So I think if we could talk to health too and just see what their stance on it, like, would they be willing to be the person who checks when a new building goes up or when people are trying to get their occupancy?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Julie.
Hi, sorry I'm late. The land use was animated.
Thanks for coming on.
Sure. So yeah, we're talking about the multifamily. So Anne was saying, could be a check at the building department for new construction, just that they have left enough space for recycling, since some of what we've heard is that, we only have space for the one dumpster. And then that also she's heard of health department, or like health inspector, health department, being able to enforce, because they are the ones who get involved when there's problems with like the trash area, which
That's a
tracks
good
with
point.
some of the examples I saw from other towns and cities. So I guess, would the health inspector then be able to do something about it for existing buildings or only for new buildings? Like when getting occupancy permits, for instance?
Well, I feel like we could add on to the occupancy permit that you had to bring your contract for trash and recycling with you in order to get your occupancy. So in Melrose, when you Melrose pays a trash fee. So you pay a quarterly trash fee in Melrose. And if I don't want to pay my trash fee, say I'm redoing my house and I have a dumpster, I have to go down and bring my contract and my paid receipt in order for them to waive the trash fee. So I feel we could do something like that. If you want to get your occupancy, bring your contract that shows you're getting recycling and trash.
How does the trash fee work?
So residents are billed, sorry, my computer keeps sliding down, pay $50 a quarter for trash pickup. So we pay $200 a year and it goes on our water bill.
Oh,
That's so interesting. I had no idea
In
Melrose had that.
Melrose.
oh,
Yeah.
So it's
in
probably been
Melrose.
going on now for
Oh,
15
you live in
years?
Melrose?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry, you're gonna hold that against me.
That's
Never, because we stole you.
Yeah, so all residential properties pay it. If you have a 2-family, you pay 2 trash fees, 3-family, and they go up to 6.
And so Wakefield, that hasn't been like discussed at
I
all?
think it was tried, according to Steve, it was tried many years ago, didn't fly.
It wasn't too popular in Melrose when it first started. Now I don't even think people know because it's a line item on your water bill. So it just makes your water bill higher and you just hate the water bills more. People
We already have
don't
plenty
realize
of
it's
that.
really
We
trash.
already have haters on the water bills.
Right, exactly.
That guy on Main Street?
I feel though, like, I mean, in a perfect world, we want to charge people by the amount of trash. And I guess we kind of do that with the orange bags, right? If you have more than your 1 barrel of trash, then you have to pay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
But a trash fee that actually, nudges you to have less trash would be.
So I don't want to upset you, but in Melrose, you can have up to 4 barrels for your trash fee.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't want
So,
No.
yeah, yeah, you can have up to four 55-gallon barrels in front of your house on trash day, and they'll
Wow.
pick them up.
Really?
That's
Yeah.
probably how they got the fee passed.
Yeah, probably. Well, we never used to have, only until recently did you even have to have barrels. You could just put trash bags out. You could put up to 8 trash bags out a week. But they worried about the rat issue, so then everyone has to have a barrel and a cover. So I think Wakefield is doing well on the trash container, 64 gallons. That's pretty good, I think. When I talked to our rep, when I talked to Gail, she's like, you're doing well. The next step is to cut to a 34 or 32, which that's pretty small. One of the things I find difficult, it's great for the 2-person family, but gets more difficult when there's more people, when you're getting into a 30-gallon or 40-gallon barrel.
Yeah.
All right. So for the recycling, so would the next step be talk with the health department and see if
Yeah,
if that's something that they could help.
I can talk to Anthony and see
Okay.
if that's something they'd be willing to take on, or it doesn't, to me, it's not a big lift for them.
Mhm.
They're just checking to make sure, and then maybe following up with a visit when they're out visiting anyway. Now, I'm saying that because I'm not doing it, but I will check
Sure,
with
yeah.
Anthony and see what he says.
Okay, that'd be great. And I wasn't sure if, like, would it be worthwhile for us to try to figure out which buildings are or are not currently providing recycling? Like, do we want to try to shine a spotlight on the ones that are not complying right now? Or is that, I don't know if that's,
So can I just ask, I'm sorry I came late, I know. So when you say not complying, because this is a little bit, was her name Rebecca at the recycling thing?
Gretchen.
Gretchen.
Gretchen, I don't know where you're Rebecca from. Oh, I just was on conservation. Gretchen. I mean, she essentially said, right, you can't put recycling into the trash stream.
It's the law.
So when you say they're not complying, they're not providing recycling. So by default, like we can assume they're putting recycling into the trash stream. Okay. I just want to make sure I understood kind of the process.
So I'm actually a little surprised that there hasn't been more warning. So in Wakefield, our trash, when it goes to Covanta, we'll get a letter maybe once a month that says your load, and it tells us the load number, contained more than, and then whatever it is, 20% of cardboard, it contained a mattress. We get a warning letter that and Republic doesn't like that either, because then their driver's in trouble because they picked up a mattress or they
Right.
picked up a whatever.
Yeah,
So
but
I'm surprised.
they're not doing the multifamily, right? They like the multifamily.
No, that's just for our regular trash that picked up at the curb. But I'm surprised that the multifamilies aren't getting a similar letter.
They might be. They might just be
Right.
not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
Who do we know who services the multifamilies?
I think it's private, isn't like each different multifamily could
Yeah.
contract with whoever they want for trash
Yeah.
collection.
Correct. And they do it all different. Some get a dumpster, some just do barrels, some do bi-weekly, weekly. It all depends on what they need.
So there
it's
might be like
kinda-
7 different vendors all doing this. So
Yes.
they might have
Yeah.
different levels of
Service, what you
of-
decide. Yeah.
yeah, or of like sticking with and like giving a warning if they're seeing a bunch of recycling.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure that the building I won't name, that I know someone who lives in it, there is a separate small dumpster for recyclables. And then both the trash dumpster and the recycle dumpster just get dumped into the same truck when the truck comes. So like, if that's what the truck is doing, then they are clearly not going to send a warning, right? They're in it. So.
Yeah, I mean, I have a feeling that like the small private companies are maybe not as concerned about it
As Republic and other ones, yeah.
Yeah, it's just interesting where they're dumping it though. So
Right.
Oh, right, because they're bringing it to.
they're bringing it somewhere, or they're doing it themselves. So they still have that ban they have to abide by.
Maybe remember that book they wrote a couple of years ago where they followed the trash from like source to. Maybe we need a sleuthing.
I would love if unfortunately, I'm still full-time employed. If that situation changes anytime in the next few weeks, I will put on like a ski mask and I'll go follow around. I'll spend like a couple days per building, follow the dumpster trucks around and figure out where they're going, what they're doing. This could be a whole.
Because you're right.
That's what
whoever the
WCAT
end
needs to
use
follow
is
us around.
should be unhappy they're getting mixed
Right.
materials.
Right.
Tiana, do you know what company does the trash and recycling at who you're just talking about?
Yeah. So somewhere in my text stream, hang on, this will take me a moment.
Because it'd be interesting to maybe contact them.
Yeah.
And maybe they could, well, they probably wouldn't tell us like how many buildings they do in Wakefield.
I mean, I would love to see us get to if we can't get to the point where we have a bylaw that requires this, and hopefully we can have at least new construction. Can we help these existing multifamilies put out a bid and do it right? I don't
So
know.
one of our worries is that we currently don't pay a processing fee for our recycling in Wakefield. We are so lucky. We have,
Okay.
kudos to Joe that he has a great contract in place. My worry is that when it expires in 27, that the processing fee will be like $150, $200 a ton versus where trash right now is 96. So that's my biggest worry, that then becomes more of a burden on the tax.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
Yeah. So that's why I feel like we're not asking them to do anything that's not required by the Mass DEP. So we're not asking them to do anything that they shouldn't be doing.
Right. What if we just sent a letter to all of them? And I mean, can the DEP send them a letter, reminding them of this?
You know what? I'll ask Gail. She's our
Can you ask her? I mean, maybe a
Yeah.
letter from the DEP needs to go to I mean, that's might be the first start. Multi-family units saying, as a reminder.
These are the things that are not supposed to be in your trash.
Yeah, it's surprising there's not as many as you think in Wakefield. I think I just got a thing from the assessor, and for whatever reason, don't quote me on this, but I think like 306 buildings.
Like more than 4 units?
Yes. I think that actually was 4 and above, I think, but I can look it up and I'll let you guys know.
That would be interesting. And I will say, we've been doing a lot of thinking about the 40A, which is the MBTA communities where we're going to have to do some zoning overlays. We're going to see more multifamilies if this goes through.
Yep.
And so, this is an important issue around multifamilies.
Right. And I mean, even if there are 300
that's more
over
than
4
I thought.
units, that's more than I would have thought too. I mean, I would start with the 12 biggest, right? That's where we're going to get the biggest bang for our buck on trying to get behavior change.
There's a huge building going up over 95.
Parent Lane, yep.
Yeah. Right on the Reading border. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what's going to get us to our 10% affordable housing is that, it's huge over there.
I found it. I found the picture. It only took me scrolling back to
Oh, this is for the unit.
January 4th. It is disposal service, easy disposal service. I have a telephone number and everything. And I have.
I mean, I think what Gretchen said the other day too is very, maybe just calling some of these people up and just saying, I mean, certainly if you're a owner in the building, you probably have a little more credibility, but where is my trash going to?
Right.
Tarrant Lane is an interesting question. We should try to find out what's going on there for Tarrant Lane. It just got its permits. Yeah, I don't know what's in there for it.
We really need to make sure that building definitely has recycling.
I think that's a rental unit. I think those are all rentals.
Is it?
Which maybe is easier because then there's only one owner instead of an owner per unit.
Yeah.
This easy disposal company looks pretty legit. They're BBB. Oh, they're committed to increasing recycling as much as possible.
Fantastic.
Cool. Nothing like putting their public statements out there for everybody.
Yeah, we should contact them.
So it looks like Tarrant Lane has, it's hard to tell, but they do have these enclosed dumpster areas, and it looks like they might have like 4 bins. So it looks like they might have separated stuff.
Would be good.
I like that idea of coming up with kind of the top, maybe the like 12 largest.
Yeah. How would we get that info?
Is that something you think we can get from the assessors, Ann?
Yes. It's on my list.
And then it would be maybe something we do with, maybe if you could talk to Gail, maybe we can do it jointly with Gail at the DEP,
Yep.
Do the bylaw with DEP, is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm thinking like a letter to these landowners, to these management companies saying, we consider this a priority for the town of Wakefield. And by the way, it's a state law.
Yeah,
right.
But there's always the carrot and stick a little bit, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it sounds like we're having like two strategies, one for new, one for existing.
Mhm, mhm.
Okay.
And
I think it's gonna be hard to make a bylaw not retroactive, but my understanding from these existing is, and it's wrong, but essentially, because there wasn't a bylaw, they kind of negotiated away, right? And now the developers are long gone and the homeowners or the renters are kind of stuck with it. Which is
and there
why
may
it'd
be
nice
creative
to-
things we can help them
Yeah.
to figure out. And that recycling service, and that you found, the one that had all the different resources, like they were happy to consult with any particular building. If a building is having a hard time figuring that out, like we could offer that also as a resource.
Oh,
Perhaps. RecycleWorks, thank you. Yeah, I was about to go look that up. Yeah, like they consult individually to any building, school, and whatever entity to help you figure out how to recycle more. So, if someone doesn't have space, like maybe RecycleWorks can come help them look around and figure out an alternative approach that. So I guess my question is, if the building department is going to check that a building has room, a new building would have room for recycling, does it need to be a bylaw for them to do that, or can we just tell them that they need to because it's the law? I'm not trying to skip the hard part of the process here, but if it's already a law,
question. I think it's probably just an awareness raising thing on the part of ZBA or building inspector, right?
So it might have to start with the ZBA because by the time it gets to the building department, I think a lot's already in the works.
I think so too.
It may be too late at that point.
I wonder whether we don't meet with, I think we need to meet with ZBA on a couple of things, but this could be another thing that just says, it's state law that you can't put this together. And so when they go to give variances, how are you going to comply with state law on this? Seems to me like it'd be the same thing they do for anything else that would be state law.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe we invite somebody from ZBA to the next meeting, the subcommittee meeting, and just say, how would you, when you see multifamilies, how do you tend to deal with things like disposal?
Good.
I have to say, it's a game changer knowing that this is state law. I really thought it was a local bylaw issue.
I think that's maybe why I had such a hard time finding bylaws about it.
Right.
It's it's kind of already at least the outcome is the law. The mechanism by which you don't let people put recyclables in your trash, that's up to whoever's implementing it. But the outcome of don't put that in the trash is the part that's the law.
But it's not like a law where it's in the inspector list or it's in it's not built into the process at all. That's the problem.
Yeah.
So I talked to Gail today from the DP, and she's willing to come to a meeting if we wanted to. She was very excited about a bylaw.
Oh, really? Good.
Yes. She actually said, what help can I give you guys to help with this?
And she's awesome. So are we trying to get this on the spring meeting?
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay,
it'd be, if we think we need a bylaw, then
Yeah,
we could try.
well, we definitely should have it thought out. So I'm just trying to think, we just opened the warrant, I think, for spring.
I saw an email about the timing. I think it was like middle-ish of April for the end date of that.
That sounds right. I just want to work backwards. Like if we want to have let me look at the town council agenda. It was a 4-hour meeting. I was toast by the time we voted. So warrant is open till, it's only open till April 7th.
Mm.
So if we think we need so I mean, maybe we try to have a meeting in March with Gail and ZBA. I think it's worth inviting ZBA to the same meeting. Just, I mean, just to ask them kind of what they've seen. And they've seen so many multifamilies come in front of them. You know, what are they hearing from developers? What do they feel like is, you know, do they have any authority? I don't know. But I agree with Anne, like, I think a lot of things are baked by the time they get to building.
Mhm.
so when do we have to get the,
So we would have to have something submitted to town hall, either on the part of ESC or a citizen petition, or ESC could send it to town council and ask town council to put it on the warrant by April 7th. And the town meeting is May 15th.
May 15th?
Yeah. So our next ESC meeting is probably what, the 9th of March?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, we could set up a special meeting of this committee to talk to those other two groups.
Right, we might need to if we want to have something drafted to bring to the
Right.
ESC in March to then submit it in April.
Yeah, that doesn't give us a lot of time.
But it doesn't have to be the ESC that brings it forward. I mean, I think
true.
it could be, I mean, I think that's probably the cleaner process, is to have the subcommittee bring it to the ESC, which can either, as a committee, can bring it forth itself, or the ESC can then present it to the town council. And kind of do it jointly with the town council, which is how I think we did something recently. What is the most recent thing we did? Plastics, maybe? I don't remember. Or maybe stretch code.
I mean, could we, if we want to do it through ESC, could we email the bylaw to the group for?
No, but we could hold a special meeting. There's nothing that stops us from holding a meeting just on that issue.
Okay, yeah, maybe we could do that.
Yeah. I mean, we could say we could have our regular meeting on March 9th. And then, you know, ask for a date that works, maybe like that, the week of the 20th. And say it's just, you know, there's going to be one item on the agenda and this is going to be it.
Mhm.
So then we should meet with zoning and who else?
Gail?
And building.
And building.
Yeah.
Between now and March 9th.
I think so.
And then, Julie, when we had talked about this back couple months ago, you had also suggested running any draft language by Tom Mullen.
Yes, we should definitely run anything by Tom Mullen.
I mean, do we want to
Okay.
just look at some draft language now? Like I had put that in the
Sure. Where did you put it in?
oh, I don't have screen
Call me.
sharing. Host, would you please give me
Yeah.
access?
Yeah.
This page, this is the Tiana dumped a pile of notes in a page, which I had emailed to you three some point in the past few weeks. But I'd written out sort of the timeline of when we would need to be doing things, which I think as we're now just discussing was we're a little behind the schedule that we had wanted. I've got a bunch of the examples in here, but then I guess here's where I had started some draft language if we want to just talk through it and give any feedback, so we're starting from a place of having something.
Yeah, I mean, we should mention the DEP regulation.
Mm-hmm.
DEP waste ban, I think it's.
I guess I wasn't sure sort of what the format of these, the examples
I
that I
would worry
found had
so
a
much,
broad
yeah.
range of some like whereases and then some,
I
you
think
know,
it's
more
listen,
straightforward.
worry about getting your concepts in there and Tom
Okay.
Mullen will legalize it.
Okay. So something about per the DEP
Yeah.
waste ban,
Mhm.
recyclable items prohibited from trash.
That's interesting. The website, it says businesses and property managers should encourage waste reduction, provide for recycling, ensure employees and tenants don't throw away items at landfill. So I'm not sure if it's like that, not very convincing.
No, I think the DEP language is stronger, right?
That's what I'm looking at.
Oh, that is the DEP language?
Just that they have to encourage.
It says, yeah.
And maybe you can ask Gail what
Yeah,
references.
Right. Some of the example ones from other cities just said, you know, per our goals to, you know, facilitate better stewardship of the land type of things, not specifically referencing waste bans. So this would be if we're trying to make the ban or make the bylaw apply to everyone. If we wanted something that is specific to new construction, we could frame that differently.
Yeah, I think that's what we're moving towards, right?
Yeah, I think we should start with new construction. I mean, the great thing about starting with new construction is that you're not impacting anybody.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
You're not impacting people at town meeting.
Exactly. You're not taking something, well, I mean, yeah.
Can we do end offices or just multifamily? I don't know how many new offices we're constructing these days, but.
We should look at the language that we had in there when we did the EV and PV ready. I think they had a lot of this like square footage and over 4 units. I mean, we may be able to lift right from that language that's in the stretch code. I know they're not the same thing, but the parameters of the buildings might be similar.
So are we saying for all newer renovated multifamilies must provide recycling service or must make space possible to be able to have recycling?
Can we just say buildings and not like categorize it? It applies to all. buildings.
Waistband is the waistband.
Yeah.
I mean, I think single family homes will be subject to whatever like the town is, right? So it's really any building that is not serviced. I don't know, Ian, how would you say that? Any building that is not serviced by town rubbish services or something.
Yeah, so anything above a 4 unit, so 5 and above
Right, because four and below gets serviced by the town.
gets curbside, yes.
Okay. So in that case, it would be 5 and above and businesses.
Must provide recycling service or must make space when they build their building to enable.
Hey, let's go for it.
Must
Provide recycling
enable-
services.
Yeah,
You know, I think in the end, it's both, right? So,
Right, right.
Provide-
If they have to provide recycling service, then there needs to be space for it. And
exactly,
you
right,
know, the building inspector is the one looking for whether that looks feasible.
right.
yeah, we put businesses instead of offices. Just so it's like.
Mhm.
All non-residential. Well, we can just say commercial, right?
Instead of businesses.
Yeah.
Okay, yep.
So I'm just looking on the website. The DEP does do enforcement. It says businesses that receive a mass DEP enforcement often already have recycling programs. However, they are not doing them correctly. So it's interesting. I'll ask Gail about, like, do we report someone to her? How does that work?
That'd be good to know.
Mhm.
Yeah, I don't think DEP is the enforcer. They just created policy.
I thought you just said that DEP.
It says
Can
businesses that
enforce.
receive a mass DEP enforcement often already have a recycling program. However, they're not meeting the recycling because of poor signage, whatever. So I'll have to ask her what happens. Do they get a letter? Are they fined? I'll find what
Mhm.
the path is.
Because we could do this more just finding out which of the buildings are doing something and giving Gail a letter. Like, here are the worst offenders. Please go tell
'Cause
them.
DEP doesn't know like who's doing what. They're not like checking on all new buildings, you know?
Which is why having an overlay, kind of a bylaw kind of overlay, is probably not it's a more of a reinforcement than anything.
Mhm.
And it gives us the ability to enforce it, because we're not the enforcers for DEP, but we can certainly enforce that bylaws. That's a question for Tom Mullen, whether you can. I know there's different jurisdictions, right? If the state does something, I don't know whether the locals can or not, but he'll know that.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, that's like, is a bylaw even like appropriate?
Right. That's probably a conversation we should have with Tom.
If it's like a state regulation, like,
Mhm.
doesn't even make sense to do a bylaw.
That was sort of a conclusion I'd come to when learning about this
Yeah,
state waste ban. Like, does a local bylaw actually do more? Like, maybe it does nothing because there's already a waste ban.
yeah, I feel like we should ask him this before we go any further, because
Yeah.
if it doesn't even make sense, then.
What's the right process for asking him? Is it, do I
Just
I
email.
send him an email?
Yeah, he's super accessible.
Okay, all right.
So from what I'm reading, it looks like the DEP has inspectors, but they inspect at disposal facilities. And then they trace the load backwards. But they only check on the disposal. So like Covanta would get an inspector, not the apartment building.
Yeah, so the Murph and Peabody that Republic brings their stuff to. would get
Yes.
inspection. And then, there's no way to trace any residential back because it's all thrown in all together. So with I don't know if it's traceable, with the other buildings, they're doing big loads or not.
I'd still imagine there's at least a mix of several buildings in any truck, right? The truck's compact. You're not filling.
It's
the
kind
whole
of
truck
trickle
from
down
any one.
enforcement, right? They enforce with one, and then it's up to that whoever gets the enforcement to go back and figure out where it came from to try to stop it.
It's not
Which is
easy.
probably why it's not actually happening.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. It's near impossible to trace back.
Right.
Although it depends what kind of truck they have. If they have one of those trucks that picks up in the front and drops in the back, it goes over a lot of those have cameras. So if the driver's sitting there and notices a mattress, they'll stop the load. I'll send it, if I can find it, I'll send you the video that I watched on that. It was pretty good.
That's cool.
Yeah, I mean,
But
I
it's
know
still,
some recycling or waste companies, they'll put a sticker on somebody's.
Yep.
And that's not, they're not going to accept whatever they're trying to throw out or put in the recycle bin. If they're putting a bunch of styrofoam in the recycle bin, they'll leave the styrofoam, or it's so it's I feel like the enforcement is kind of done that way instead of.
So in Wakefield, we have a foreman who follows the trash and goes around, and he'll actually knock on people's doors and say they're
Really?
not going to take your recycling today because this is what's in it and this is why it's going to be left at the curb. And he'll also say why your trash isn't going to get picked up if there's cardboard in it and whatever. And he'll actually knock on the door.
Wow.
but
great.
that's like a spot check kind of thing. That's not
So
every
he
run
spends
of every truck, right?
40 hours a week doing trash and recycling enforcement. And fixing a few barrels along the way, but yes, he probably knows what you have in your trash. He knows all the.
I was gonna say, I think I've seen him because as I think you know, Anne, my child and I had a habit of following the trash truck around our neighborhood for a few blocks. We're kind of over it now. This was when he was 3. Now he's 4, and that's not a thing we do anymore. But occasionally there would be a pickup truck following behind the trash truck, and we would worry a little bit that we would get our trash guys in trouble for that we were distracting them with the 3-year-old running behind the truck waving everywhere.
Well, that's good to know that somebody's doing that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll reach out to Tom, and you'll reach out to Gail
For several things.
and check with Anthony on
The health department
the health
stance on
department.
trash,
Yeah.
yes.
Great. And then can we email each other with any findings, or that's open meeting law? We need to just
No, you can, you just can't respond. You can send facts, but just don't
Thank
do
you.
a respond to all.
Got it. Cool.
Okay. I think we got a game plan.
Sounds good. And then we'll invite, depending on what Tom says and what we learn from Gail, we might invite some additional folks and make this a party next month.
It's gonna be too late next month, right?
Oh, yeah. So maybe we would need a special meeting.
I think we need a separate meeting.
Okay.
And I don't know if it makes sense to go to town hall and meet or what.
Depending on who we
Yeah, we could
need.
do that.
Yeah. Sounds good.
Awesome. The last item is on the agenda is the Recycling and Sustainability Day that's going on, happening April 8th with Rep. Lipper Garabedian.
Yeah.
And I don't know if she's contacted you about it.
I haven't talked to her directly, but I was able to get Republic to send their shredding truck for part of the day. They'll take some shredding that day. I did talk to Bay State Recycling. They don't want to come this year because last year they didn't get a lot of stuff, but they promised that they would empty the boxes at the Woodville so people could drop, and then they'll come Monday morning and empty them again. So last year, I think they only got, it was some very small amount, because I think people are really good at that anyway. That's not one they're saving up. I think they're dropping it off during the week. But
Right.
they would empty their bin both days, so.
Okay.
Perfect.
I haven't told Kate that the shredding's coming yet, but when we have our meeting, I'll tell her.
That's great. The shredders are great.
Yeah, because we heard in Gretchen's presentation that they
Yeah.
sure don't want that in the recycle bins.
I
So
learned
that would-
so much from that presentation. That was the best presentation.
The
It was.
video just went out. The
I
video's
saw you
posted,
post
so-
on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's changed everything.
Are there other things that we want to do at that recycling event?
Yeah, so ESC will have a table, so we need to figure out like what we wanna do. I think the TerraCycle collection was a little out of control last year.
A little bit.
So, yeah, I don't know. Any
Well,
idea?
if we have a bylaw that like that would what is there a date for the event?
For April 8th.
April 8th. So by then we would have submitted the warrant or not. So if we have one, then we should be promoting the heck out of it.
Yeah.
For one thing.
Maybe we do something like what are these, like the recycling, like did we do this last time? Like quick sort, like what do you have, where does it go kind of thing? Like we could do a game like that.
We did
instead of-
that at Town Day.
That's right. I knew we did it somewhere.
We could do it there. I think that'd be a good thing to do there.
I mean, I think the whole thing, like the black plastic and like, those are just really important awareness raising things.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really want to do like the same thing we did last year. Which
Yeah, I
is
agree. Yeah.
the, awareness of the bylaws and I mean, I think we should still have that information, but like not be a focus.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'm just trying to think of something different we can do.
What could we do? Instead of like recycling, could we do like kind of a swap thing? Like you want to go in with Safe Streets and see if we can do like a bike swap? Or toy swap? More on the reuse than on the recycle stuff?
Mm,
Yeah, toy swap may be a good idea.
Maybe a
idea.
toy swap. Bring your stuff and and the kids can bring something and take something and everybody gets something new and
Yeah,
And if we end up with a bunch of stuff left
we
over,
take
we
it-
can
yeah,
find
we
somewhere
take
to
it-
bring it.
yeah.
That's cool.
I think that would draw some people.
I think so too.
Is there any sort of like repair?
We've had this.
Like
thing with
what's the
Safe
one in
Street.
Melrose?
Yeah, they're new. Maybe they would come do something.
Fix It Clinic.
Yeah, they have, like,
Yeah,
a bike
so that
clinic.
people can like bring stuff that like I've got this tea kettle, it almost works, but you know, can we fix it?
Yeah,
We should be doing things like that. They call those things, what do they call those, like fix it days or something?
fix it clinic.
Fix it, yeah, so just said, yeah, fix it clinic. That would be neat too.
We'd have to find somebody that can fix things.
Use Tiana, maybe, I mean, maybe you could put some ideas. Let's do some crowdsourcing on the Facebook page, right? You know, do you know how to fix something? If somebody just came and did an hour of their time. You know, we could say like there's an electrician there for an hour, there's a bike person there for an hour or something.
Right.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Should we also reach out to that fix it place in Melrose that just
Yeah,
opened?
see
and see if
What place is it?
We've just opened this place in Melrose. I think it's kind of like a shared use place, but they're like fixing bikes and things like that.
It's
like
they've got
like bulk purchase of stuff, like a little bit of bulk stuff, bike stuff, and I think they have like a long-standing toy swap or something like that. Rep Lipper Garabedian like described it in
It just
one
opened.
of our newsletters. I'll find it and send it to you.
What is it? Anne, do you know what it's called?
I can't think of the name. It's on Tremont Street.
On
but it's
Tremont
like,
Street, yeah. I'm looking on Facebook. Let's see.
It literally, I think last weekend might have been the.
Tremont Fix. Let's see.
It's not like electronics, right?
No, we'll have to find it. The Ride Cafe, is that what it's called? That's one of them, I think. Your favorite new spot. The Ride Cafe.
The
is a
Loop,
bike
the
link?
Loop,
The Loop.
Right.
the
And
Loop.
one
Oh,
I
it's
think
in
the
the
Ride
same
Cafe's
same
in
building.
there.
They're the
Yeah.
So, the Loop Community Center, which is bike accessories, soap refills, like all that stuff.
Wow.
171 Tremont Street, Unit 2.
A collection of 3 local mom-owned businesses. The Loop is on a mission to shape a better future by making sustainable living more accessible and convenient for busy people.
Oh, wow.
You can get your bike tuned up, pick up household refill, and have a drink. The Loop Melrose.
We should find a time to go.
Yep, I'm
Yeah.
there.
But yeah, I mean, I think at the very least they might want a table there to promote their new business.
Well, they
At the
have
recycle
a
event.
toy thing there too. Oh, I've heard of this business where they rent out toys, basically. It's like a membership where you get like new toys every month and you swap them out the next month or something. I've heard of them.
Who gets to invite people to this event? Like, do we need to run that by Rep Lipper Garabedian? Like, or can we just reach out to this Loop folks and say, hey, this event is happening?
I'm sure
And I
she
guess-
already knows about this because she lives in Melrose.
Well, and she promoted them
Maybe she's invited
in her
them.
newsletter. Yeah.
Or maybe
I would just ask her. Just send her a
Okay.
note.
they're
Alright,
probably
I'll
already
send
going
her a
to the
note.
Melrose.
They're probably going to the
Sustainability.
Melrose one. Whether we can get them in Wakefield, we'll see.
Yeah.
Are there, I mean, by that same token, are there other sustainability oriented or recycling
I think there
oriented
is a bike
businesses?
repair guy in Wakefield. He's got a website. We should look. I'll see bike repair Wakefield. He's on Facebook. Yeah, we should just think if there's others. April 8th is going to come up quickly.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, I gotta go. I'm in Maryland. I haven't even seen my mother. I've been on calls for like 2
Oh.
hours tonight.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank
This
you.
was
You're
super
welcome.
helpful.
Oh my gosh, you guys, this is great. 2 good meetings tonight. All right, I'm gonna leave and let you guys finish.
All right.
Bye.
Okay,
Thanks.
enjoy your time there.
Yes, I guess we should think of what else we would want to do at like an ESC specific table
Yeah, no, I
versus
think-
like other folks to invite.
I think the toy swap is a good idea that we could do, and then we could find like a fix-it person. Like
Mhm.
even if it's not this, because it looks like London Mend, they don't really have a lot of info there. Yeah, we could contact the Loop people. There's no, you can't contact a specific part of it, I guess.
Should we contact Rep Lipper Caribbean first or just contact the Loop people and see if they'd be interested in them?
I can
Have them reach out
contact
to
her. I can ask her. Yeah, let me contact her and see. I'm sure she's inviting them to the Melrose one, but
Right. So I mean, and I don't see any harm in inviting them to ours, but then if we're inviting them to ours, then maybe we don't do a toy swap if they would have a toy swap already, or we do it in collaboration or something, like.
well, so their toy thing is not like a swap. It's
Okay.
it's
It's
like
like
a
a membership
membership.
thing.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay.
so we could do that ourselves.
Yeah.
And then
Are there any other like good reuse swap type of things that we could do? So we don't want to do too many things at once, but
yeah, I mean, we don't want to be like a buy nothing.
So
But-
one of my favorite days in Melrose is swap day. And so they run a swap event twice a year. And so what they do is from 8 to 12, you can bring an item or a few items, and then you can take anything you want. So it works out great. The only thing is some of the items don't go as well. Like baby clothes were huge. People love it. People would bag the baby clothes or baby toys and have them in like plastic bags. And those went and put like T3, whatever it was. Those were great. But like, I know Julie said bikes, but bikes was always a hard one because people brought bikes and then we would have 10 or 20 bikes left over.
yeah,
And then it was hard to get rid of the bikes.
yeah,
And then we always checked it. One of the things we did was when you arrived, we checked your item, and some items we would reject. So we didn't take broken, we didn't
Yeah.
take, furniture, things like that, because it made it more difficult, to at the end. And
Yeah.
the first few years we did it, it was easy to get rid of the other items, Savers and Goodwill would come. But then even now, Goodwill is picky about what they take. So we had to be very meticulous on what was coming in.
Mhm.
So the only thing I'd just say where it's the first, like our first time doing it, maybe just limit.
Stick to toys.
Yeah, maybe stick to toys and then see how that works out.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's a
then
good point.
we can expand it from there. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like the first person comes and they bring 8 tubs worth of toys and you're like,
Oh boy.
know.
Yeah.
or people brought dirty stuff. You know what I mean? And we were wiping it down when we were trying to clean it up before people came.
I think we should probably like limit the amount of toys.
Yeah.
Someone can bring.
Yeah, like bring 3,
Yeah.
or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes.
And then I think also just like having, being available for questions. Hey, where can I recycle where do I bring,
Yep.
that we can help answer those questions. I think we've found a lot of, here's where you can bring that thing that we can share now.
Yeah, I will contact the representative and ask her about inviting the London End people from the Loop. Okay,
Did you want me to post on Facebook looking for someone who can do fix-it things, or is that getting to be too much and we just want to stick to toys?
well, if we're gonna do the loop people,
Okay, yeah, then they would
let's
be.
see if
the
they can
fix-it.
come first and then, yeah.
Sounds good.
All right. That is all on the agenda. Anything else? No.
Nothing I can think of.
All right. Our next meeting is the 15th. Does that work?
Works for me.
All right, awesome. So Anne, yeah, let me know what you hear from Tim and try to schedule something soon.
Yep, I'll talk to him tomorrow.
Awesome. All right, motion to adjourn.
Second.
All right.
Yes.
Yes, we're adjourning.
All right.
Thanks, Anne,
Yeah.
for coming.
Okay.
Yes, thank you,
problem.
and we appreciate
Thanks.
it.
Great night.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.